Okay, so I'm going to introduce you to a few lying down exercises. You can do this from the floor. If you do it from the floor, then just have a yoga mat, obviously, to have some cushioning. If you're not comfortable going to the floor right now, then you can also do it lying in your bed. So some of the tools that we're going to use today, we're going to use the broomstick. If you have a ball, that's great. If you don't have a ball, then you can also use a cushion. Okay? For your head, it's important not to have your head propped up too high, but you may want a little bit of support. You can use a folded up towel. It really depends on each person, and you want to make sure that your head's not tilted backwards. You want to have it nice neutral position. So if you have too much cushion, you're going to have your head tilted down and you're going to have your chin tucked in, but too much, you'll be looking at your feet. If you don't have enough support under your head, you turn sideways, then your chin's going to be up like this. You don't want that. So you just want to have it nice and relaxed, a little bit of cushioning behind the head. All right, so let's go. We are going to lie on the floor or on your bed, like I said, to begin with. You're going to have your knees bent. Let me just slide this cushion under my head. Knees bent, arms relaxed by your side. Your feet, your knees are not touching each other, so they're a little bit apart, about hip width apart. And you're going to go and start with a pelvic tilt. So you want your back nice and relaxed. Sometimes just lying down on the floor, it takes us a little while to get used to what's in contact with the floor, etc. So what we want to start with is a pelvic tilt. You want to be aware of what parts of your back are in contact with the floor. Relax your hips. And for the pelvic tilt, what we're doing is there's a little arch in the lower part of the back. We're going to push the belly into the floor as if we were going to flatten out that arch in the lower back. And relax. You're going to push the belly into the floor. You might feel it pulling in some of the back muscles. For some people, they might feel it all the way up to the neck. And relax. Make sure where your eyes are, you're basically looking straight up at the ceiling. You're not looking down at your feet, and you're certainly not looking up behind you. Push that belly in. So when you're doing it, you're not unsticking your bum from the floor. Very important. It's not a bum raise. It's just a gentle tilt of the pelvis. Hold it for a little bit. Make sure you're breathing and relax. Push in. We'll do this a couple more times. And relax. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to arch the back. So we're going to exaggerate the arch in the lower back. It's not going to go very far, but it's as if somebody's pulling on your belly button up to the ceiling, making that arch a little bit bigger in the lower back, and then just relax. Belly button up to the ceiling, and relax. And you can hold it up there for a few seconds, and relax. 2 more of those. Arch up to the ceiling, and relax. 1 more. Nice deep breath. And then this time push back into the floor. And relax. So we're going to start with the legs. What we're going to do is slide that leg forward and tuck the knee in. You can give it a little hug. Just straighten out the leg and tuck the knee in. Straight leg and tuck. So by giving it a little hug, you're actually stretching a little bit in the bum and the lower back. For some people, they might feel it in the hamstrings, behind the thigh. And let's change legs. So we're going to keep that other knee bent. We're going to slide that leg forward and tuck the knee in, give it a little hug. Straighten out the leg. So you notice that I've got my knees bent. Now when I have them bent, it's just encouraging my back to stay a little flatter to the floor. I don't arch the back as much. And throughout these exercises, I want to keep my stomach muscles good and tight. Now let's do a couple more of these. Little hug. Extend the leg. If it's hard for you to straighten out the leg with the leg in the air, put socks on, if you don't already, and slide it along. Obviously with shoes, it's not going to slide on the mat or on a bed very well. And rest that leg. Now we're going to switch to the arms. And what we're going to do with the arms is we're going to do a set of giant claps. I'm going to open up my arms nice and wide and close, open up and close. So while I'm doing this, it's a nice stretch for across the chest. If I wanted to, if this was too easy, I could add some weights in my hands. And if I don't have weights, it could be water bottles, can of soup, etc. So opening up wide. If I feel a big pull here, stay open a little bit longer. I'll get a stretch at the same time. So as I'm doing this, I still want to be aware of my back, especially the lower back, and where it is. I want to make sure I'm not arching the lower back more than what's a natural position. So I can push my belly in even while I'm doing this. And I'm going to relax the arms. Next, with the legs, I'm going to keep my knees bent and slowly, I'm going to control the movement. So I'm going to keep my stomach muscles nice and tight, nice and slowly. I'm going to open up one leg. I'm not flip-flopping anywhere. I'm just doing it nicely in control. Bring the knee back to the center. Slowly open up. Make sure I'm relaxing my breathing. Okay, you go at your pace. All of these exercises are to be done at your pace. You want to make sure you're breathing throughout the exercises as well. Very important. So you don't want to hold your breath. Okay, we're going to switch to the other side. So we'll keep this right leg vertical. Slowly open up. Now, if you have stiff legs, you can encourage or assist by putting your hand on the outside of the thigh to give it a little push down. You can also help it come back up if you have a hard time bringing that leg back up. So you can assist by gently pushing the leg down, always keeping tight stomach muscles to help with the support. This is what protects the back. Slowly down. If it is stiff, you can leave it down for a little bit to get a stretch and come back up again. We'll do this a few more times. Slowly down, give it a little push and up. Slowly down and up. Perfect. Next, we're going to go back up to the arms now. So I'm going to have the palms of my hands facing each other. Nice and extended towards the ceiling. Thumbs are heading towards the back, pinkies forward. I'm going to do a set of scissors. So one arm's above the head, the other one's by the thigh. What you want to watch with this again is what is the back doing. Sometimes our shoulders are stiff, and in order to reach above our head, we tend to arch the back. We don't want to do that. We want to push the belly into the floor. Do a nice reach and reach. Nice big stretches above the head. Like a massage for the upper back. And breathe, and breathe, and relax. Perfect. So the shoulders are nice and warmed up now. Next, with the leg, we're going to do a straight leg raise. Now, for the straight leg raise, we're going to keep the left knee bent. I'm going to straighten out my right leg. Before I even try and lift it, a couple of things I want to do. One, I want to pull my toes towards me. I'm going to tighten up that thigh muscle, and I'm going to tighten my stomach muscles. Then slowly raise. I don't want to fling my leg up here. There's no need. What I do want to do is I'm going to stop once I'm in line with the other thigh. I can hold it if I'm able to, and slowly bring it back down. So slowly up, a little pause if I can, and nice and slowly down. Something else I don't want to do is to bring it up and flop it down. Okay, then you're doing about half the exercise. Make sure you take your time, slowly lower the leg. It's going to feel heavy, but that's okay. This is exercise, it's to strengthen tight stomach muscles, so believe it or not, your stomach's working a little bit in there as well. If you feel it in the back, it's because those stomach muscles have taken a vacation. So we want to wake them up. Let's do a couple of more of those before changing to the left leg. Bring the foot right down, bend that leg. Okay, again, I'm keeping this knee bent, or a knee bent, to keep my back nice and flat. If I straighten out the leg, one, I'm not going to have a point of reference to where I should stop the leg raising, and the arch on the back just sort of grows a little bit. So by keeping my knee bent, raise up. Again, I want to make sure I've pulled my toes towards my knee, tighten up the thigh muscles, contract those stomach muscles, and away we go. Let's do a couple more of those. So for any of these exercises, you can do as many or as few as you are able to. Okay, if I do 5, it doesn't mean you have to stop at 5 if you're able to do more than 5. Then you can keep going. Next, what we're going to do is I'm going to take the ball. If you don't have a ball, what you'll do is you'll just hold your hands together for this one. Just lock them in together. With the ball, what I'm going to do is tap the thighs and do a nice stretch above my head. Okay, push that belly into the floor again, so it's going to make me contract the stomach muscles, reach and back. If I just let the belly do anything, what's going to happen is as I reach above the head, I'm going to arch my back, and that's what will happen. So I'd rather work these muscles, tight muscles, good and strong, reach above my head and back. So you reach as far as you can. Now the cool thing with this position, because we're lying flat on our back, gravity is going to help pull our arms above our head farther than we might go if we're sitting. So we can hold it there a little bit of time and back. Let's do a couple more of these. Excellent. And we'll put the ball to the side for a minute. So we're going to go back to our legs. What we're going to do is we're going to work on the hip area of the leg. We're going to straighten out one leg, the other knee is going to be bent. Now we're going to be bringing the leg to the side and back to the middle. Before we do this, important, I don't want your foot to be turned out. I want it straight up to the ceiling, and I want it to stay up to the ceiling the whole time. So I'm going to pull my toes towards me, just like with the leg raise. I'm going to tighten my thigh muscles, tighten my stomach muscles, and I can glide my leg along the mat if I like. I can also lift it, but if I lift it, we don't have to go way off the ground. It's barely off the ground. Tight stomach muscles and come back in. Out to the side and back in. Nice deep breaths. Feel the flexibility. Feel the strength in the leg, in the stomach muscles. We can stay out there as well. Notice my toes stay up to the ceiling. They're not headed out to the side. Okay, if we turn them out to the side, it's a whole other set of muscles we're using. Okay, let's head to the opposite side. So bend that knee, straighten out your left leg, pull the toes towards you, tighten your thigh muscle, tighten your stomach. Again, you can slide that heel along the mat if you like. Better when you have socks on. Option 1. Or tiny raise up, parallel to the ground, toes always up to the ceiling and back. Tight stomach muscles. Let's do a few more of those. Reach out, come back in. And a last time. And relax. We can give those hips a little roll if we like. Okay, if during the exercises, if you at any point get a little achy back, just bring the knees into the chest. Do a nice little knee hug. You can hold each knee on its own. If it's hard to reach for your knees, get a separate towel and you hold on to the towel. Place the towel above the shins and hold on to your towel. Okay, there's always a way. And then you can do a gentle roll side to side. It's like having a back massage. So we're going to put those feet back on the ground. What we're going to do now with the ball, I'm going to hold it in my right hand. I'm going to have my arms out nice and wide. I'm going to pass the ball when it's up in the center. And then I'm going to lower it onto the other side. Lower it to the other side, pass in the center, and lower it. You can do this with a weight. Just make sure, though, that you're good and stable. Okay? If you have arthritis in the hands or anything, stiffness in the fingers, then you're better off with a wrist weight that you don't have to hold with your hands. But this ball is really, it's a bit jelly-like. It's a little bit soft, which helps for gripping it. If it was really stiff, it would be harder to hold on to. So it works really well this way. All right. So we have a little abdominal work to do. So what we're going to do, we're going to go clap under one leg now and lower it. We're going to do 5 times on each side, clap and lower it. Now when you clap under there, and you can aim for it, doesn't mean you have to reach under. You can tap your knee if you like. The key is crunch and tighten up those stomach muscles. Perfect. Let's change legs. Tap or tap under, whatever's more comfortable. Squeeze the stomach muscles. So the challenge sometimes for people is the comfort in the neck or the discomfort in the neck. One, ideally those neck muscles will get stronger, but tuck your chin in. One of the ways of doing this is actually putting a ball underneath your chin or making a fist with your hand. You tighten it like that, and then you can actually do your movements that are less annoying. We're going to go back for a second set. So clap or tap, whatever you can aim for. Think of those stomach muscles doing some work. Squeeze and lower. Squeeze. One more on this side. And squeeze. Any breaks you need to take, you take them. Squeeze. Deep breaths as well. So as you go up, you want to exhale. We have one more to go. Blow out and slowly in. Again, if it aches the neck, we're going to do a nice little neck stretch after. So we're going to tuck our chin in. Feel the muscles pulling. And the head can rest back down. We can do a little turn to the right, turn to the left. All right. And there we have it. A little bit of bum movements to loosen that up. So we're going to take our ball again. And what we're going to do with our ball this time is we're going to place it between our knees. So if you don't have a ball, you just place a cushion between your knees. What you're going to do is squeeze, count to 3, 2, 1, and then open up, but nice and slowly open up and squeeze. Breathe. 1, 2, 3, slowly open up. Try and squeeze a little bit harder. As you're squeezing, those stomach muscles are working. Inside the thighs are working. And slowly open up. Squeeze. Now for these floor exercises, I'm not doing anything on the knees because for a lot of people, it's really not comfortable on the knees. The main focus is on the back, but we do get to a lot of the muscles by being on the back. And relax. All right. We're going to put the ball on the side for a minute. We're going to roll onto our side now. So off we go onto the side. You might want a little bit higher cushion now because what you need to do is fill in the gap for the shoulder. You can also rest on your arm if that's comfortable. So you want to find a position that's comfortable. Okay, the head can be resting or you can put it underneath, on top of the shoulder. What we're going to do is we're going to do what they call the clam. So your knees are going to be bent. Your knees are not up front here. Try and keep your body straight if you can. We're going to squeeze the butt muscles. We're going to open up. Hold it up there and close. Hold it up and close. Open up as far as you can. Feel what's stretching and close. Let's do a couple more and then we're going to change sides. One more. Excellent. So let's change sides. Put my head at the other end here. So you're going to roll onto your other side. Again, the key is be comfortable. Have your head ideally not drooping down and not propped way up either. And the body nice and straight if you can. Open up, squeeze the butt muscles as you open. Breathe and lower down slowly. Open up and lower down. So sometimes just getting into these positions might be a bit of a slow process. As you do them more and more regularly, it will get easier. Let's go for 2 more. Perfect. And since we're close to being on our belly, we're going to roll over. All right, for this, you want to keep your head fairly flat. Now, one option is to make a fist and rest your forehead on your fist. Okay? Because if your head's propped to one side or the other, it does change the position of the spine. So we're going to try and rest it like this. And we're going to do just leg curls. So we're going to bring the heel to the bum. This can be a little stretch in the thigh muscle. To the bum and back. Now, if there's any kind of pull in your belly when you're doing this, put a cushion right under your stomach, okay? You want to be comfortable. You don't want to pull in the belly. So if you need to, you put a cushion underneath your belly. Okay, let's change legs. And breathe. Do 3 more of these. So this is usually better done with some weights on your ankles, but we're going to do a little more difficult one in a second. And relax. Next, we're going to try and raise up that leg. Now, it's not going to go high. And lower. Squeeze. This is the back working and the bum working and a little bit of the hamstrings. And lower. Blow out, and again, if the back is not comfortable, make sure you put a cushion underneath your stomach. It changes the angle a little bit, but it doesn't mean you put it under your whole upper body. You just put it around from your belt, midline about, just to pelvis, and it's just to make a little tilt. So again, we're going to squeeze. We're still resting our head on our fist. And down, let's change legs. So I'm going to squeeze with that leg. I'm stretching the front of the thigh at the same time. And lower and breathe. And lower. Blow out. We'll do 1 more after this one. Excellent. Give those legs a little shake. So since we're in this position, see if we can get this cushion in the right position. We are going to rest on our forehead. You're going to reach an arm forward and come back. Reach and come back. This is an upper back exercise. Do 4 more. Reach. Perfect, and change arms. So this one can just rest here or rest on the cushion, depends what you've got. You might have a rolled up towel, which will probably work better. Reach and come back. One more time. Reach and come back. Excellent. All right, so let's turn over again. Let me just fix my hat. We're going to go back onto our back 1 more time. So you'll have your little cushion or your towel, whatever you've used underneath your head. Going to place that, and now we're going to start using our broomstick. So you're going to be lying on your back, knees bent. Make sure I've got enough space. All right, so you're going to hold the broomstick about shoulder width apart. You're going to extend your arms up to the ceiling. You're going to stretch. Nice big stretch above your head. Be aware of your pelvis. Lower back. You want to push that belly into the floor. Reach above your head. Hold a few seconds. Deep breaths. And you're letting gravity do the work right now. You're letting gravity pull your arms, your shoulders a little bit farther than they would go otherwise. And slowly, so when you're going to bring this bar back to you, you're going to exhale. That's going to give you the strength. So blow out. And relax. Next, we're going to act like we're rowing. It's just a little movement for the shoulders. So we have bent elbows. Hopefully, if you're in bed, you're not clanging and banging against walls. Or if you're on the floor, you have enough space. And then we're going to turn the other way. So it's as if we were paddling backwards. Okay, next move we're going to do is a little abdominal one. So chin's going to be tucked in a little. Hands are by your thighs. Now obviously it depends on the length of your arms if you can actually reach your thighs or not. But the arms are going to be towards your thighs. And what you're going to do is you're going to crunch up, tap the legs, and come back down. Blow out as you come up, tap the legs, and come down. Exhale, tap, and down. Big blow out. And again, you don't have to hold this bar tightly. We're going to do this 3 more times, so that bar is just sort of sitting in the little groove by my thumbs. 2 more. Blow out. And in. Blow out. And relax. So we'll put the bar on the side a second. Let's give our knees a little hug. Little roll side to side. Okay, we're going to put one foot down on the ground. The other leg we're going to extend. It doesn't have to be straight up to the ceiling, but we're going to try and aim towards the ceiling. Now what we're going to do, our hands are relaxed by our side. We're going to pretend we had a pen on our heel. And we are drawing a circle. It is not a gigantic circle. This is a small circle. At first, the circle might seem a bit more square, and that's just actually a core exercise we're doing now. Okay, as the core muscles get stronger, because it is helping to control that leg, as they get stronger, the movement will be more fluid. We're going to change directions with the circle. And even the movement, whether we're turning towards the inside, clockwise, or counterclockwise, can change how smooth or nice that circle is. And relax. Let's change legs. So say if your flexibility is not so great, it's possible that your leg's going to be out here. You're still going to do your circle, okay? So you want to put your leg as straight as you can, but comfortable, and do those circles with your heel. So I'm not pointing my toes. The movement is coming all from the hip. And the muscles in my abdominals, my core muscles are doing some work here. And I don't want to drift out here. I'm just up here, straight towards the ceiling as much as I can. Change directions with your circle. And perfect. Just rest those legs, do a little roll side to side. We're going to do a nice little stretch now for the back. Your arms can be out nice and wide. Now, depending how sensitive your back is, you may want to approach them more. So if you feel too much of a pull in your back, or you want to be safe even to start with, you can put your arms down below. For myself, I'm going to have my arms out here. My knees and my feet are glued together. So what I'm going to do, always in control, I'm going to slowly drop my knees to one side. If it pulls too much, I will automatically bring my arms closer to me. As soon as I bring them closer to me, the pull is less. Now, if I want more stretch, then I'm going to turn my head to the opposite side of the knees. And I'm just going to hang out there for a bit. come back up to the middle. Now if it's hard to come back up to the middle, do one leg at a time. So lift one, then the other. And slowly drop the knees to the other side. If I want more stretch, I will turn my head to the opposite side. Okay, bring my knees back up again. Perfect. Give them a little wiggle and back down to the other side one more time. Bring the knees up slowly to the other side. And always remember, if you have to bring them up and if your back is more sensitive or your stomach muscles aren't quite strong enough, make sure you bring one knee up at a time. Okay, up we go. A little bum wiggle on the ground to loosen up the back. We're going to do a little knee hug, so a couple of stretches now. We're going to hold the knee. Now when I hold the knee, so we've got both feet on the ground, both knees are bent. I start by holding the knee and this other leg is still bent, okay? Because this allows me to bring my knee a little bit closer. If I feel a pull, I stay here. If I don't feel a pull, I'm going to slowly straighten out the opposite leg while holding on to this knee. And I'm just going to hold for a little while. Let the muscles relax. Take some deep breaths. And then from this position, I'm going to pull my knee to the outside. So I want to hold, it's my right leg, I'm going to hold the inside of my shin with my right hand and pull to the outside. I want to make sure the other bum cheek stays flat on the ground, so both butt cheeks are on the ground. I'm not rolling sideways. And then I'm going to come back to the middle. I'm going to take my left hand now and sort of hold the outside of my shin and give it a little hug. Now this is okay if my right butt cheeks comes off the ground. The key is I am stretching my right butt cheek. And take some deep breaths. My arms flat on the ground, so I want my upper body to stay flat on the ground while I do this stretch. Back to the middle. Some nice little rolls with the knee. Circles, I should say, with the knee, both directions. I'm going to place that foot on the ground. I'm going to give my left knee a hug. So remember, this knee stays bent. Give my left knee a hug. If it stretches already, I keep it there. If I don't feel a stretch, I'm going to straighten out the leg. When you're stretching, it shouldn't be painful. You might have pain already in a joint, okay? So that means that pain may remain, but it shouldn't get worse when you're stretching. So when you stretch, you want to hold a position, let it loosen up, and then go a little bit farther. Relax your breathing. We're going to pull the knee to